Home. Chapter 12. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork provided by XAA on Tumblr. You can find a link to the artist in the description box below. If you haven't already, make sure to listen to the previous 11 chapters of this story. Otherwise, they're already available. Why would you just skip to 12? I don't understand. Anyway, if you are still listening to the intro, comment Intro Squad in the comment section. Now then, on to chapter 12. It had been a long time since a feeling like this ransacked Adrian's gut. He'd only met his girlfriend face to face one time, but that was cold comfort as the phone rang. He wasn't sure if he should be relieved or not when she didn't answer, as it gave him an excuse to text her, despite how rude it was. Adrian was acutely aware of his heartbeat as he typed out his message with a tone that was not apologetic, but not cold. In context, he asked if she wanted to break up. She responded immediately, asking him what was going on because she hadn't heard from management. As their conversation developed, Adrian found she didn't care if he dated someone else, so long as the media didn't find out about it. His girlfriend told him that even if he was found, quote-unquote, cheating on him, as the media would see it, it would be in her favor because she'd get a lot of attention for being the righteous girlfriend and so strong for overcoming such betrayal. Wow. Celebrities are something else, huh? It was a burden off his chest, but now he actually had to poop, so he may as well relieve himself. When Adrian donned his Cat Noir transformation and walked out, Marinette came over, a worried yet somehow perplexed expression on her face. "What's wrong?" he asked, grabbing the liquid measuring cup they needed. "Are you... Marinette trailed off, as though she were choosing a better set of words. "Are you okay?" Yes? What was she so concerned about? "You were in there for 20 minutes. Are you sure?" He understood. Blushing, Cat cleared his throat and made his way to the sink. Sink! He made his way to the sink. "I wouldn't go in there for a while if I were you," he joked, cursing his autocorrecting brain from almost half an hour earlier. She laughed at his expense, but so be it. The cost of his time in the bathroom was well worth it, because now he could like her without regrets. Just not as Adrian. While his girlfriend didn't view, or even care, him dating another girl as cheating, Adrian was still in a relationship, so he couldn't approach Marinette with the idea as, himself. Would she be open to dating Cat Noir, superhero and part-time dork, without knowing who he is? And what happens when she finds out? Oh, Camembert. He didn't want to imagine, but he wanted her more than his teenage brain was capable of rationalizing. "The water's boiling now," he choked out, drawing the attention away from what was sure to be a poop joke on the tip of her tongue. "Now what?" So, tisans can be brewed longer than 4 to 5 minutes, but some people find a bitter taste if the leaves or petals are brewed too long, she asked, standing a little too close to his arm. "So, no more than 5 minutes. Got it." Cat grabbed the canister of hibiscus petals and began to shake the contents into the pot. "Wait! Cat, no!" Cat froze, realizing he hadn't measured the petals. "Sorry," he said, reaching in to scoop the hibiscus out. His action was met with Marinette tackling him, and on their trip to the floor, he had a flashback of a glomp reaction image from 2007 internet culture. Huh. Cat's huh was replaced with ow as his head hit the floor. Thankfully, Marinette didn't have a bad impact, as his body was a shield between her and the vinyl. "Whoa!" he exclaimed, not sure how else to respond to the situation. But, oh, she was close. Okay, autogenic breathing. Keep your mind clear, Cat. Ugh, how could he keep his mind clear when the strands of hair framing her face tickled his cheeks? Camembert! He wanted to kiss her, but it wouldn't be right. He pushed her shoulders away from him, sitting her up, before bumping his leg up as a gesture to get her off. She got the message. Ears pink. Well, at least that was comforting. Unlike Ladybug, Marinette viewed Cat as a man. Well, as a boy. As a member of the opposite sex? No, that's not the way to phrase it. As a potential to date. Wait. Yeah. She wouldn't be flushed like that if he didn't have a chance. Right? Unless... Oh. She could just be embarrassed for glomping him. Well, tackling. She'd probably smack his tummy if he called it a glomp. So, Marinette began. She took a moment to compose herself, eyebrows furrowed as she cleared her throat before continuing. So, first of all, don't stick your hand in boiling water! Oh. Yeah. Right. Good idea. Cat nodded, understanding why she took him to the floor. The floor that he still, in fact, was spread out on. What, you don't want to paint me like a French girl? He asked, putting a hand to his forehead like a damsel in distress. Marinette extended a hand, and he took it to help himself up. Second of all, remove the water from the heat when you put the leaves in. She turned off the burner and moved the pot to a cool, unused one. And third, this is a tisane, so even if you add too much in, we can just brew it for less time. A tisane? Cat tried to think. Weren't they brewing tea? So there's no quote-unquote tea leaves in here, meaning the Camellia sinensis plant isn't part of the mix, so it's not technically tea. It's also not herbal because there's no herbs. It's just hibiscus petals, so we call it a tisane. Tisanes are drinks that you brew that aren't technically tea. Huh. You look confused. It's taking a moment. Actually, he was trying not to concentrate on her hand still wrapped around his. Did she not realize she was holding it? Don't get me started on Rooibos, Marinette laughed. She still hadn't dropped his hand. So, how long do we let the petals... She'd said so earlier, but that was before he nearly touched her freckles with his nose. 4 or 5 minutes once the water hits 99 degrees. Boiling is at 100 degrees, so really throw the hibiscus in when it boils and remove from the heat. Because this is a tisane, you can't really burn the leaves from being in too long. The flavor will just get stronger, although some people think that if you leave a tisane in too long, it can taste bitter. Huh. So, 4 minutes? By now? Let's give it another 3. Even if it's a little long, it'll be okay because, again, there's no Camellia sinensis in it. Because there's no true tea in it. Got it, Cat recalled. Good! She gave his hand a little squeeze. Then we add the sugar, let it dissolve, and then more water. If it's cool enough to add the lemon juice, we'll do that, but we might need to wait a bit. Why can't we add it while it's hot? So we add sugar to the hot brew right away to help it dissolve the sugar, but citrus can curdle if you add it to a hot drink, so it's best to let it cool first. Makes sense. He was just happy they were talking. Right now, he was so self-conscious that he didn't think he could lead a conversation. Her hand didn't help. She looked down, not as subtle as she probably meant the gesture to be, before sneezing, bringing both hands up to her face to cover it. Cat wasn't entirely convinced if it was a real sneeze, but it wasn't his place to say otherwise. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah, probably just, seasonal allergies." Her cheeks were a bit pink. Was Marinette also conscious of him? Like, the same way he was of her? Yeah, right. Don't get ahead of yourself, Cat Noir. Black cats don't have that kind of luck. He held out the strainer as Marinette poured the hibiscus brew through a funnel to get the leaves out. Whisking in the sugar, Cat realized he really liked the smell of this not tea. What was it called again? Tisane? Tisane. "I could drink it like this," he said, trying the spoon Marinette held to his lips. "You want to oversweeten it before you add the lemonade, because the lemons will most certainly take away some sweetness." "Overdo it so you don't underdo it." "Got it." She laughed at his simplification and nodded. "You've got it. You're certainly improving in the kitchen, Cat Noir." "It's nice to come home and cook." Cat didn't think about his words until they were out of his mouth. He wanted to redact them, eyes wide, but Marinette gave a chuckle in response. "Yes, well," she began, "as long as I don't lose any more salt containers, we can keep it up." He ran a hand through the hair at the back of his neck. "Don't remind me." They exchanged laughter, their conversation falling back into its usual pace as they finished the lemonade. Cat used extra cold water to mix into the brew after the sugar dissolved, so they were able to add their fresh-pressed lemon juice in right away. "This..." Cat searched for words after taking a sip. He expected more of a berry flavoring, but this wasn't that. It was good. Like, he liked it, but couldn't pin the taste palette. "Good, right?" "Yeah, like something from a cafe." She giggled and took a sip of her own, the red drink slipping up through her straw. For a moment, Cat wondered if his dad would like it. Nah, better not. He could see it somehow leading to a bad day for both of them. "Mind if I hang here for a few more hours?" he asked, the words slipping out more casually than they felt. "Yeah, dummy." Marinette flicked his bell. "Just don't attract any akumas, okay?" He smiled. Yeah, an akuma couldn't beat this feeling. Pouring their mixture into a pitcher, Cat Noir took a deep breath that felt like sunshine. It was nice to spend an afternoon at home. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in again soon for Chapter 13 of Home. Also, for those of you curious, I did make a video about how to make hibiscus lemonade on a different channel, so you can click here for that, or find a link to it in the description box. I will catch you in Chapter 13. Bye!